Hello, my friends. There's a lot going on in this room. I apologize. So, today we're going to be talking about the books I read in May and the books that I will probably read in June. Let's get into it. All right, so I am currently working on 1984 in Schindler's List. I don't ask me how I ended up with two heavy novels. Um, it's just the game of the draw, I guess. But I'm working on those two right now. Schindler's List, I've been reading chapter at a time, so I'm running through it a little slowly. I'm about a third of the way in for that, or fourth of the way in for that. And I've been working on 1984, which is a dystopian novel written in the 40s, set in the 80s. We're going to start off with Dead of Bones by Terry Goodkind. It is the prequel to the Sword of Truth series, and it concentrates and focuses on one character, and it's one of my favorite characters so far in the series. I'm on book 3, but he's still my favorite right now. But it's pretty cool. It's very short, so it kind of gives us an insight on how his character is and how his character's personality is and who he is kind of as a character, which is really cool. And it does hook on to all the stuff that has been going on in the novels. I rated that 3 out of 5 stars. It could have moved more but for a prequel novel, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad at all. The second book that I'm reading is Hearts in Atlantis by Stephen King. That's part of my read all of Stephen King's books, but my good friend Robert Wilhelm, who is my only Patreon member, thank you very much, he has suggested me read that one because he just finished reading that one and he really liked it. I really enjoyed this one. It was a collection of 4 or 5 short stories, but all centered in the same plot, in the same setting, but it was all connected in a specific way or not. It was set in a small town, kind of like Derry, and I think even Derry was mentioned as well. I can't remember, but it was really good. The plot was good. Um, there were a lot of characters, just like King likes it, but the plot was really good. So I think the plot hooked me in more than there were characters, so that was good. I rated this a 4 out of 5 stars, and I really enjoyed it. This was one of his 90s works. So I think once I get to Stephen King in the 90s, I will be A-okay. Next book I read is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. And this was probably my favorite read of the month. It's a sci-fi book, kind of dystopian. The ending was very unexpected, and it was really good. It had me laughing the whole time, and I was really surprised at how good it was. I wasn't expecting a sci-fi book to get me like up in my belly laughs, but this one did. This one got me, and I really enjoyed this one. It was very unexpected. It did have flashbacks where it jumped back and forth. Like I said, it was really charming. It was really good. It had its flashbacks back and forth between the past and the present. But I think I enjoyed this a lot more because it didn't flash back very often, but it only flashed back when the present main character needed to know something, and they treated it like amnesia, so the reader was figuring it out as the main character was figuring it out. So I thought that was really cool. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. I'm pretty sure this one was my only 5 star read of the month. The next one was The Women by Kristen Hanna, set in Vietnam War. And of course, during the Vietnam War, women weren't really considered much of anything. So it follows the main character, who is a nurse in the Vietnam War, and it follows her life through before she went to service, while she was in service, and after she was in service. And it had a little cute love story in between and far throughout and stuff. It was really cute. I really liked it, but it pissed me off so much that it did happen when people thought that men were more important than women in the service, which is really stupid because they went through the same freaking thing. Anyway, I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. It was phenomenal. It was fantastic. It was great. The next book I read was Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren, and this one was the book club book pick 2 months prior for Catherine's book club. And I really needed this one, I'm pretty sure, for the palate cleanser. It was a good pause in between all the fantasy books and all the fantasy books that I am going to read. I need a new one after 1984, but we'll get to that later. It's a romance book. It has what is it? Another second chance trope. I don't get romance books. I don't get the tropes. I don't understand none of that. But I'm coming to realize that romance books are a good like slate cleanser for me as far as books go for that. So I'm really excited to read more romance so that it can cleanse my palate a little bit, kind of like coffee beans in a Bath and Body Works, you know. I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. All right, the next book that I read was Wizard's First Rule by Terry Goodkind. Now, I have read this before, and I must say I cheated a little bit, and I sped read through the second half. I forgot how thick she was. I sped read through that because she's big. After a while, I started remembering all the things and all the stuff that happened. It is a toxic series, definitely, and I'm taking it with a grain of salt because I did read the second book too, and I'll get to that in a minute. But it's just Mr. Goodkind have something with BDSM and torture and stuff because mm, mm. So second time reading, I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. I think the first time reading it, I would have given it 4 out of 5 stars just because I took that extra detail and that extra jump at reading the book. But this time I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Next was The Kill Order by James Dashner. And this one is the duology before the main series, The Maze Runner. But yeah, it's a dystopian novel. It's young adult, and it focuses on what the Earth is after the sun heats it up so much and blah blah blah, solar rays. And it was okay. It was pretty much a survival novel. There wasn't anything really special or extraordinary about it. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Now, I didn't think I was going to finish The Stone of Tears by Terry Goodkind. I did. I finished The Stone of Tears by Terry Goodkind. And like I said before when I was talking about Wizard's First Rule, this series is very toxic so far. Mr. Goodkind, focuses a lot about torture, a lot about control, a lot about just, he focuses too much about like needing to get that control and then people taking that control away from him. And it's probably something like written in the stars or something, but I didn't really like this one at all. I could see why it was pertinent to the story. Definitely. It wasn't 703 pages pertinent, though. Let's be real. I didn't like how whiny the main character was in this one. How he was all like, oh, me or my, I have to learn new things and I have to go away. And then my girlfriend gave me up and blah, blah, blah. I love her so much, but she hates me. It was just too whiny for me. Too much whiny for me. So I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. Like I said, I'm currently still working on Schindler's List in 1984, but I'm gonna lump together my TBR to Like I said, I've been cutting my TBR short by a lot, mainly because I couldn't keep up with it. The fact that 3 to 5 TBR books are better and more manageable, or less overwhelming rather, than 5 TBR books. So I've got nonfiction. Reality is Not What It Seems by Carlo Rovelli. I've read a book from him. I've read several books from him. He's a smart person. I can't really get into his books, but like you see, they're short and they're nonfiction, so I figured they would be a good way to break up my reading since I usually like long books. My next is Don't Cry for Me by Daniel Black, and this was suggested to me by Mads, I believe, from my Instagram. So she's like, "Yeah, I think you'll like this book," and I'm like, "Okay, great! I'm putting it on my list right now." So I did. And then I have The Fever Code by James Ashner. It is the duology, the second book to the prequel duology. So this will tie up that first book, and then I can read the Maze Runner series. And I'll also be reviewing this duology and making a video about that too. And I'm also gonna get the next book after Stone of Tears. I can't remember what it is, but I already have it ordered at the library. I can't remember for the life of me what it is though. But yeah, I'm not sure what else I have on my TBR, but that is it. That is all I read in May and what I am going to be reading in June. What did you guys read in May? I want to know. Have you read any of the books that I read? And if you did, what did you think about them? I would love, 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 love to know. So, yeah, as you know, June is LGBTQIA Pride Month. Happy Pride, guys. I've got a couple links down below. First of all, I have an Etsy store, and the link is down below. I sell blind dates with the books, and my mother-in-law and I are going to start making soaps and other stuff for book-related purposes and not, kind of self-care it up. So right now in June until the end of August, I am having a sale for my YouTube peeps and for the peeps on Etsy that has already bought my stuff. You can use the coupon code YouTubeCJ, and that's all caps, for 15% off your order if you buy 2 items. So if you buy 2 blind dates with the books, you will receive 15% off of your entire order. So that's going to be up until August. Also, I have a link to my Patreon. What a Patreon is every time I upload a video and you are a paid member of my Patreon, you will get that video immediately, literally minutes after I edit it. So once I get all the dogs barking and my kid out of the video, you will receive it immediately instead of me scheduling it on YouTube and stuff. So that's one perk of being a Patreon member. And again, thank you, Robert Wilhelm, for being my one and only Patreon member. You rock! My third link is that you can buy me a coffee, but if you can't do any of those three, I appreciate you being here. Yeah, you mean the world to me right now. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Any interaction helps. Share my book review with a friend. And I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I love y'all. Have a great day. Bye.